r/AskReddit by Redmond Dts. Russian Redditors, how do you feel about what's happening in Ukraine right now? As someone who lives in Russia and grew up in Ukraine, I'm shocked, terrified and crushed. A couple days ago we couldn't imagine something like this, but now, when it's more than real, it seems like the worst is yet to come. I'm deeply embarrassed and upset of how it turned out. The actions our government took will throw us back to the 90s politically and economically, but that's not the most important part. People will die, thousands of families will suffer, and our relationships with Ukraine will go through something they won't recover from. Stay strong, fellow Ukrainians. For whom it may concern, we are sorry. I've living outside of Russia for almost 15 years, mainly because of my allergy to Putin. It hurts me a lot for Ukraine. My mom and dad got married in Ukraine at 1971. My dad are Ukrainian. I feel sorry for everyone. And I have to say, Ukrainian people, I am sorry.
Мне очень жаль, что таких как я было очень мало, а стало, кажется, еще меньше.
Google translated. I am very sorry that there were very few people like me, and it seems to have become even less. My brother is doing his military service. 20-year-old kids with no military experience who have no other choice but sleep in the forest and wait for commands. Families are told that they won't get any news for at least a week, maybe even for a month. F Putin. It's never the politicians or their children who are sent under the bullets. F all those old F-wards who bought their place in the government so hard. I'm looking how people I didn't even vote for are destroying my future. My wife live in Kiev and I was planning to relocate to her in next couple of weeks. Now I don't even know if I'll see her ever again and I'm scared. War sucks. War with a related nation sucks infinitely. As simple as that. I really hate what is happening right now. I hate that Putin made us all his accomplices. We want no part in these crimes. Times are tough in Russia as it is, and he has to make it worse for us all by murdering our neighbors and getting our soldiers killed. I love my country, its people, its wildlife and nature, but I can't stand thinking about living my whole life here while this government abandons its people to live in hopeless poverty while also committing such atrocities against other countries. Yeah, it sucks so much. I have a Russian dad and a Ukrainian mom. It's very sad seeing Slavs killing Slavs. Also, the largest country in the world invading for more land? Lol. If they wanted money, they need to invest into their population so it could grow. That way they can exploit their vast empty country. Instead they choose to focus on temporary monetary gain by invading Ukrainian. Their state got way worse yesterday. Their banks are excluded from trading outside of Russia. Let's see how time progresses. Keep in mind that Russian people who are using Reddit hate Putin. Because we can speak English we can see different side of the world. If you will open our Russian social networks you will see the joy of the people because for them Putin is destroying a Ukrainian Nazi. Keep in mind they were brainwashed for 20 years to believe in everything they see on TV. All my friends are terrified by that. The Ukrainian people are the closest nation to us. Even closer than the Belarusian. We got parents and friends there. Yesterday, I was joking with my buddies from Ukraine about the war, and what did I see today? I was defending Russia from all American memes for a month, and now I need to admit that we are aggressor? That is insane. At least you can admit you are wrong. That's not easy to do. I think most Western memes realize your government is the aggressor, not your whole people. Shocked, angry, ashamed, but mostly effing terrified. I've been crying all morning. Putin doesn't speak for our nation. We didn't elect him. It was all staged. I don't want war. I don't know anyone who wants war. I've got family in Ukraine. Lots of us do, and it's excruciating to read all the news. We try to organize protests but it's hard since this effing usurper got most of our Protestants to rot in jail. But we try. It is scary to go cause all the protests end the same way with no results. But I feel that it is important to go and at least try to make a change. We want peace. There's literally no reason to start a war ever. This is not my president. He is a killer and he must be held accountable for his crimes. I'm Russian university student, living in Kazan. Currently residing in university's dorms. Today, while I was on lectures, someone hanged posters on balconies, so they could face the streets, with writing such as "Stop the War" and "Putin get out of the Ukraine." When I came, there was the whole freaking police squad, looking through camera footage to find those people. From what I've heard, those guys will get expelled, if not sued for extremism. For a goddamn posters. So yeah, suppression of public disapproval is no joke. I've talked only to a certain demographic of people, aka university students, but there's almost universal disapproval of the invasion. There was one exception, but the girl who approved has family in the government and nobody likes her. At all. So she doesn't count. As for the general atmosphere, everyone is on edge. I'm really anxious. My roommates are too. One of them says they'll go to the protest, if there will be any. Other roommate is depressed, eating candy, thinking worst case scenarios. None of them believes Russia will come out a winner out of this war. Yesterday I saw a Russian and the Russia did say, "Why should Russia allow itself to be surrounded by enemies?" My response was, "How about the option of making less enemies?" I was banned within 30 minutes. It sucks. I am in my mid-50s. We were one of the last children to practice duck and cover in schools. Basically it was hide under your desk so it is easier to count the dead. Now all the paranoia and fear of the Cold War is surging back, and the possibility of nuclear war is incredibly real. I can taste it in my throat. Or put it this way, I stopped drinking over a decade ago because it was causing harm in my daily relationships and my family. Yeah, maybe taking up that hobby again lol. I am someone that has been regularly accused of being a Russian bot. I'm not, but I have generally been on the pro-Russian side of most arguments. I have previously supported Putin and have even supported the actions in Crimea. I have also listened intently to his justifications for this conflict. However, I am done. I draw the line at actual conflict. Life is too precious. No one should be dying. I have family in Ukraine and this disgusts me. My mother, a senior, who has always been even more pro-Russian than me, to the point where I would call her brainwashed, has today said Putin has finally lost his mind. The reality is this. Russia would not be having an issue with their neighbors had they spent more time on economic development. Ukraine would not want to upset Russia by joining NATO if Russia was actually a valuable friend, trading partner, and ally. Geopolitical ambitions can be achieved through peace and economics. Putin has failed economically. That documentary showing his palace was shocking. I don't see Navalny as a viable political leader, but that documentary was absolutely damning. And Putin's lackadaisical response made me double down on my belief that it was authentic. How many hospitals could have been built with the money that went into that palace? How many people's lives could have been improved? Now, after that, we are supposed to believe that he is a patriot acting in Russia's long-term security interests? My heart goes out to anyone and everyone affected by this. Living in a small town in Siberia, I know this war probably won't reach us, but my heart breaks thinking of brotherly nations killing each other because of one dictator's mad ambitions. It's scary to think that we will live in shambles because our economy wasn't great before, and it will only go downhill from here. All the money I make will go solely towards food and rent and nothing else. I and millions of other people will not be able to buy electronics, cars, etc. for a long while from now. Our lives has been put on pause all for what? For something that the majority doesn't support. And we are not able to stop it, to help. We tried last year and the year before that. We are helpless before Tsar and his buddies. I am ashamed to be Russian. I am ashamed of the bravado every victory day. We are extensively taught in school about the horrors of World War II, of how wars only bring misery and despair. And now this. This is what they do. Redditors are a very unrepresentative sample. If you go to Odnoklassniki or VKontakte you will see a completely different picture with majority of people expressing joy and pride. Do not underestimate the power of propaganda. Even people who live outside of Russia who consume their media are affected. to all the Russians speaking up against Putin. I hope you all remain safe and strong. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. Have a nice evening.